This lesson, we're going to work with ellipses. Again, we're going to keep them at the center, keep the center of our ellipse at the origin. But ellipse is kind of cool because ellipse is all points on a plane where, I want to try to get it in words, the sum of the distances from 2 points, those are the foci, are constant. Okay, let me see if I can explain this. If we could take a string and tape it to my board, so here's my string, and then I were to put a pencil or a marker in that string and pull it taut and start drawing around. I'm not an artist, and we'll do it on the board, okay? But that sum stays constant. This plus this plus this. That sum is going to stay constant all the way around your ellipse. So it makes an oval. Okay, be honest, the track out here, we can call it an oval, but the sides are straight. Here on an ellipse, the sides are not straight. They keep curving. Okay, maybe if you had a perfect egg, that would work. But this is not an ellipse. Remind me, I'll get an ellipse out of the elliptical curve, out of the bucket of stuff I have. Okay, so the foci is the 2 points where the string is attached. The vertices, those are the points that are furthest away from each other. Okay. And we're going to have some more vocab on the next page, so I'm going to show you on the next page. All right, here we go. So here's the ellipse, about as best as I can do. Those are my foci. Okay, now if you think about it, this point and this point are as far away from each other as possible. Those are the 2 vertices. Okay, the major axis is the segment that contains the vertices. Okay, so this is my major axis. Okay, center is going to be the midpoint of the major axis. Okay, so there would be my center. The minor axis is the segment perpendicular to the major axis through the center, and it is always going to be the shortest distance across the ellipse. The covertices are the end points of that segment of the minor axis, or where the minor axis meets the ellipse. Or you could say it's the 2 points that are closest together. So this point and this point would be covertices. Okay, where this point and this point were vertices. And Okay, I got the foci. This point and this point are the foci, focus points. All right, so now you got a bunch of vocabulary, and it took us 5 minutes, so we're not going to get it done in one video. Okay, the standard form for an ellipse, you've got x minus h, the quantity squared, over a squared, and y minus k, the quantity squared, over b squared, equals 1. This is what's key. If it doesn't equal 1, you're going to divide so it does. Okay, for now our center is going to be at 0, 0, but in the standard form, h and k would be your center. A is the distance from the center to the ellipse in the horizontal direction. B is the distance from the center to the ellipse in the vertical direction. And C is the distance from the center to the foci on the major axis. Okay. Now, if you read the book, they're going to tell you a little different, but you can't reteach me this, and there's a lot of cool algebra in it. Okay, there is a relationship between A, B, and C, and it messes up Pythagorean theorem something fierce, because we always want a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, the distance C is from the center is shorter than the distance than the longer of the major axis or minor axis from the center. Okay, so what I always do is I subtract a squared and b squared, make a positive, that tells me what c squared is. So if I have like x squared over 49 plus y squared over 25 equals 1, well then I know immediately that c squared is 24, the difference between them. Okay, so here my a is going to be 7, my b is 5, and my c would be the square root of 24, almost 5. So now if I were to sketch this, I know my center is at 0, 0. I'm going to go 7 right and left, 5 up and down, and my focus is going to be square root of 24. And I'm not an artist, I don't pretend to be, but there's my ellipse. So once you know what A, B, and C are telling you, it's quick to sketch these. Okay. So here we're going to graph this equation. Well, again, it doesn't equal 1, so I'm going to divide out the 144. So I end up with x squared over 4 plus y squared over 36 equals 1. Well, since 36 is greater than 4 and it's under the y, my major axis this time is vertical. It's like having the football on the tee. So this is going up to 6 and down to negative 6. So if you want to put the point in, you put 0, 6, 0, negative 6. It's going right and left the square root of 4, so that's only 2. So that would be 2, 0, negative 2, 0. And I can sketch my ellipse. Okay, the focus point, c squared, is 32. So c is the square root of 32. That's between 5 and 6. My focus points are going to be actually quite close to my vertices. So this would be 0, and if you remember, 4 square roots of 2, we'll simplify that. And this would be 0, negative 4 square roots of 2. That's a 0. So I identified the vertices, my co-vertices, and my foci. Okay, for this one, it doesn't equal 1 again, so I got to divide out that 225. Okay, so I'm going to have x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. My bigger number is under x, so it's going to have a horizontal major axis. I'm going 5 right and left, so this is 5, 0, negative 5, 0. And then y is, denominator is 9, square root of 9 is 3, so I got 0, 3, 0, negative 3. I could sketch my ellipse. And my focus points, when I subtract, I get 16. So c squared is 16, so that means I'm going 4. So this would be negative 4, 0, 4, 0. Okay, and that's all for my center 0, 0. And I've got it sketched. Oh, we got to work backwards. Okay, I got a vertex at 0, 8. Okay, so that's in the y direction. So I already know it's going to be y squared over 64. And a covertex at negative 5. So I know under my x squared is going to be 5 squared. I got it. It's that fast. Okay. And now my focus points are going to be on my major axis, so that's going to be at 0 something. Well, what's 64 minus 25? Okay. Is that 39? You can tell me if I'm wrong. And this one would be 0, negative square root of 39. Okay. And I found it all. I sketched it, wrote the equation. The sketch helped me write the equation. And then I identified my foci. Okay. Here we go. Marketing research shows that a hand lotion bottle with an elliptical base is easier to hold than a similar sized bottle with a circular base. So if you notice, most of our hand lotion bottles, the base is circular, or excuse me, elliptical. One such bottle is 8 centimeters across and 6 centimeters across in the other direction. Okay. So if we're going to write an equation of the ellipse, doesn't matter which one's x and which one's y. So I'm just going to put the bigger one under the x squared because it came out that way. But remember, it's not 8. The major axis is 8, but that's twice my a. So this would be 4 squared, or 16. Okay? And my y squared would be over 3 squared, so I'm going to write it over 9. Okay. So that's a quick equation. It didn't matter if you switched x and y around, put the 9 and 16 in the other places. Doesn't matter. Okay, now the problem. How do you find an area of an ellipse? Well, you guys are handy with your calculator or computer, so I bet you could find that. But the area of an ellipse is pi times radius 1 times radius 2. Well, those are just your a and b. So this is going to be pi times 4 times 3, or 12 pi. Okay, it's kind of nice. If you want to multiply it out, it's pretty close to 40. Okay. Write an equation of an ellipse with a vertex at 0, 10, and foci at 8. Okay, so here's my 10, here's my 8. So I know it's going to be y squared over 100. Do you understand how you're going to find your number under your x squared? Okay, so it's going to be smaller. So a squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. If you know your Pythagorean theorem, or triples, excuse me, you know that's going to be 64. Excuse me, 36. I have the 64. I was thinking about the other one. I messed up. Okay. Here you got a covertex and a focus. Okay, so this time your covertex is up here at 10, your focus is at 7, so your vertex is going to be beyond that. So we know it's going to be y squared over 100. X squared has to be over, well, that's the longest one. So a squared is going to be 10 squared plus 7 squared. 149, not a common number for your work. And hey, I made it.